good afternoon. Whenever you're listening to this, welcome to the internet's most sophisticated wrestling podcast, discussing the weekly aspects of it all, right here on
The Bald Monkeys Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to the Bald Monkeys podcast. We're back with another Mission Pro Wrestling special interview for the Hell Hath No Fury event coming up in September. Captain Chuckles is with us. How are we doing, Captain?
I'm good. My belly is full of mac and cheese, so I'm feeling good.
That is random. Thank you,
Yes.
sir. And we have the wonderful VertVixen with us. Vert, thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you guys. And my tummy is full of wings, so I feel you, Chuck.
Yes.
I feel you.
I like that.
I know.
I was planning to make wings sometime this week or this weekend, yet all of my grocery stores around me have no wings.
That's because we bought them all. Adam went to the store and bought like 8 packs, and we went and he made them at his parents' house. So you can blame us.
I will.
So we all know now. I have spaghetti and meatballs waiting for me, so I'm excited. But this is your time, and I'm going to spend as much time as you can with us right now. And we start every interview at the beginning because everybody has a beginning. But what were you as a young VertVixen?
When you say what was I? I mean, I was all over the place. I was the quiet kid in class. I was the angel child, as my parents called me. I was the one that never got in trouble, and as soon as I got in trouble, I'd go apologize for it, so I never ended up in timeout. I was the good kid, surprisingly. I don't know how that happened, but apparently that was the case. Played a lot of sports growing up, softball, basketball, taekwondo, swim team. Whatever my parents could put me in to keep me out of the house and keep me busy, I think was the plan. I was in ballet like at one point for like a year. I don't even know. But then, you know, in middle school and high school, I was part of the goth kids, and I drew some anime. So I sat with all, you know, we read all of our mangas together, and there was this. Yeah, I was a nerd. I mean, I'm still a nerd.
We're all nerds. We're all nerds for something.
Right? Yep. Exactly.
All those activities, what kind of trophies and awards did you collect as a kid?
Yo, I have so many. Like, it's ridiculous. I think my mom finally got, because she moved to Florida, and when she moved, she was like, I don't want any of these anymore. So she gave them all to me, and I just have a box of like art awards and plaques from Girl Scouts and Awana and like all of my little sports trophies and all my little I'm like, why did they give us so much stuff? What am I supposed to do with all this now? Like, and it's like, you don't want to throw it away. You feel bad. Actually, I might have thrown away some old softball trophies. I won't lie to you. I don't remember. I might have, but it's just that they're like currently in storage. They're just in boxes in storage because what else are you going to do with them? Put them up on display and show everybody.
all of my trophies and plaques and stuff are at my dad's house.
Yeah.
So in a box somewhere.
Well, you know, I mean, it's cool. You want to display your amazing, you know, achievement as a 10-year-old that you could put up on the wall that you're like, look what I did when I was 10.
Right.
Don't worry about what I did now. Back then, I was awesome.
I was awesome back then. I literally have a binder like full of certificates because in like Awana and Girl Scouts, and I would take a bunch of art classes, or like I would do a bunch of art like competitions when I was young. They would give you a certificate for everything. They're like, you participated. Here's a certificate. I'm like, why? Don't need this.
That is a whole other podcast.
I know.
Whole other topic. Now, as we got on and we started talking before we started filming, we talked about how you got into wrestling and how you started being interested in wrestling. You don't have the normal growing up as a big wrestling fan and always wanting to be a wrestler. What's your story like as first getting introduced into what wrestling was?
Well, I've told the story many times, and every time I tell it, I feel a little less like, no, I don't even know how to put it. It's like, it's definitely not your typical wrestling story, and it's not a typical way that people get into wrestling. I went through like a not so great breakup. And before that all happened, my friend was in my house. She was helping me finish this giant costume, and she was binge watching Total Divas. And I was making fun of her for watching it. I'm like, why are you watching this? This is ridiculous. You're just watching reality TV garbage. You don't need to watch this. Not having any idea what she was actually watching. She leaves. My heart gets broken. I'm, don't want to do anything, laying on the couch. And all of a sudden I'm like, what's on my Hulu? And because she'd been binging it, it was the first thing that came up. So I started binge watching Total Divas. And I watched it from season 1 all the way through the latest season at the time. And I was like, what is this? Like, what? Like, guys are gonna think this is dumb, but I didn't really know what professional wrestling was. Like, I didn't. My family growing up, we didn't watch wrestling. We didn't even talk about wrestling. Like, The Rock was like the Scorpion King to me, is kind of the way I've been putting it. He was just an actor. Like, I didn't realize that he was also a professional wrestler. I didn't know his Rocky Maivia background or anything like that, right? Like, he was Dwayne Johnson. Yep. So it just wasn't there for me. So after seeing Total Divas and kind of like, I got interested in like learning more about it. I was like, wow, these girls are, excuse my language, they're badass. Like, they're not afraid of anything. They're great role models for all these girls. They're tough. Like, how are they doing all this cool stuff? And so I started watching Raw, and I started watching SmackDown. I started, checking more of that stuff out. I fell in love with Becky Lynch, and I was like, oh, I love all these. These women are amazing. I couldn't get enough of it. And I was like, I want to do this. Like, it felt like there was like this thing. I have an acting background. I have a costume background. I have a martial arts background. Like, I have all these backgrounds and stuff that I've been doing. And I was like, this is everything and one amazing thing. And it just felt so freaking right. So I Googled, I was like, how to become a professional wrestler.
That's what everybody says.
Right?
Everybody says how to become a professional wrestler. Boom.
And then of course, like, WWE comes up. So I was like, oh, maybe I can just apply and something will happen, not knowing anything, right? Not knowing that that's not how that works. And then I finally found AAPW, but I looked up professional wrestling school. Because one of my girlfriends, she goes by Kylie Morgan. She is a wrestler up in Canada. She has a cosplay background like I do, and we've cosplayed together. And I knew that she had just started wrestling. So I reached out to her, and I was like, what do I do? She's like, find a school. Go get properly trained. So I found AAPW through the internet, and it's just kind of all gone downhill from there. Now it's like, it's my life now.
Got sucked into the wrestling world.
Yeah, literally like a black hole of it. Just sucked me in.
Everything kind of merged together. All the different areas that you had as a background are kind of merging together. You mentioned you started training and you looked up AAPW. What was training with them like? And in Texas, I know there are a lot of different wrestling schools down there. So what kind of made AAPW stand out to you?
Well, what made AAPW stand out to me at first was the fact that I didn't know there were others. Like, in all 100% honesty, because I just, I Googled wrestling schools in Austin, and AAPW came up. And then I kind of just left it there because it was only 20 minutes from my house. But really, honestly, I should have done more research with that and realized that, Roe's not that far, and there's schools in Dallas and blah, blah, blah. But it all worked out, honestly. I think as the best it could be, because I've met my boyfriend through AAPW, and I've met a lot of amazing people and cool friends, and I really have had a good fundamental background in training because of my trainers. So I really think that it was kind of all meant to happen that way. I do plan on, I actually graduate on the 26th. I was supposed to graduate in February, but then it got pushed back because one of the girls I was training with wanted me to wait for her. We're no longer friends, but she.
I was gonna say it got pushed back because of Corona, but
and then it got pushed back so it was pushed back, and then she went away, and so March, my coach was like, "Okay, let's do this," and then Corona happened, so it just keeps being pushed back. But because we do at AAPW, we do what we call a gauntlet, And so you have to wrestle everybody for 2 to 2.5 minutes. So you end up in the ring for 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how many people there are. And it's like our like graduation, coming of age, like you've done it, you've completed, you know.
Holy cow. Researching, I did see that someone had up that there was like a 45-minute like gauntlet thing, but I had no idea what it entailed. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it depends. Like they can really make like you have to wrestle like everybody from beginners, intermediates, advanced, whoever shows up that day, you need to get in the ring with and wrestle with. And it could be anything from, you know, full on wrestling to moves to like they might make you run the ropes, like
oh wow,
duck, you know. So it's a definitely, I'm nervous, like, but it'll be cool. It'll be good. If I'm dead on Wednesday or the next day, y'all know why.
Yes. Well, speaking of in the ring, what was, you know, not having, you know, a wrestling background or anything like that, what was that first bump in the ring like?
I hit my head. I mean, like it took me, I'm a slow learner, and it took me a little longer than everybody else to learn how to bump properly. I would either fall to my butt first, or I would fall back and I'd hit my head. Like it took me a little longer to get down the proper safe bump. It sucked. Like
lots of bumps and bruises.
So like my elbows, like I remember first training, I had pictures of just my elbows being bruised from here to here, like complete, just covered in bruises. Cause you know, you're falling wrong. You're hitting your elbows, you're hitting your head, you're doing all this. It's just, it's hard on your body. And I remember, I think it was like after the first week of training, like getting out of bed and just being like, what is this? Why does everything hurt? Because your body's not used to it. You're not, you know, and I didn't know how to properly really take care of myself back then. Like when it came to, you know, Epsom salt baths and foam rollers. And I would just go to the gym and work out and not do proper like rest technique stuff. So, but yeah, it was bad. Like I think I had a few moments where I was like, this really hurts. Like, is this right? But there was something in my brain that always just kept saying, no, like, go. This is right. Do it. It doesn't matter how much it hurts. Do it. Like,
that motivation. I was going to ask, was there ever a point where you felt like, I don't know if this is for me?
There honestly was never a point where I questioned if it was for me or not. Like, it's always kind of felt right, but there was definitely like my body wanting to reject it, if that makes sense, just because of how much pain it is. And really the fact that I am a slow learner. So there's like a lot of things I have to retrain my body how to move. Like, even though I have a Taekwondo background, a lot of the stuff I learned in Taekwondo actually hurt me when it comes to professional wrestling, because you have to move differently and, you know, things have to land differently and kicks are thrown different. Like things are just different. So there's things out of my body that I've just had to calculate, you know, I guess it's the best way to put it.
Now your first match, how in front of people, not just in a training session, but your actual first match, how was that like walking out, you know, into the arena or wherever it was with the crowd? What was that sensation like, and how did it go?
So it was the best feeling I've ever experienced. And it's crazy because you love it. You love wrestling so much. You're training, you're living it, you're loving it. And then you have that first experience in front of a crowd. And it was at my school. It was a smaller crowd, but it was insane. Like, it was like adrenaline like I've never felt before. I'm like, wow, like here I am in this ring, the lights are on me. There's all these people out there like booing me or cheering me. Like, it just like, it's different. It's addicting. It's hard to explain. It's once you do it, it's like, how do I stop this? I need more now, you know? It's like, it literally is kind of like a drug. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's a very addictive feeling. And even though I actually injured myself my first match. It was so stupid. I was trying to get the crowd excited and I was just literally just jumping up and down, and I landed wrong.
Oh, no.
Right before the match started, I landed wrong. My knee, I felt it give out, and we hadn't even started the match yet. And I was like, okay, here we go. Did the whole match, didn't feel it at all, got through everything. As soon as I got to the back, I literally fell over. Like, I got to the back and I just fell, and I was like, I think I damaged my knee. I think I pulled, like, and I still to this day don't know exactly what I did because I didn't have insurance at the time. So I just, you know, I took care of it. I iced it. I was off of it for like almost like a month and a half, I was like not really training on it at all after that. But I think I had torn one of my like PCL or PCL. I think that's what it was. But amazing. You don't feel it because of the adrenaline. I got through that whole match. Felt nothing.
That's what I was going to say. That whole match was fueled by adrenaline.
Completely, 100%. To this day, I'm like, now I understand. Like, that's why you're like, how can people keep going when they're injured in a match? Because you don't feel it. Like, even though it was the beginning of the match, I had so much adrenaline from the crowd and just being out there and being excited about everything. I didn't feel it, like, at all.
Yeah. And that's the same way with a lot of other more contact sports, is you're just so pumped about what's going on. You don't even feel what might be happening inside of your body.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Human body is amazing.
Yes. That was your first match. We know you have a match coming up. But before that, I want to talk about you winning the SOAR Women's Championship.
Oh, yeah.
And Again, I'm going to say this, and I got burned in our interview with Maddie on my shoddy research where I switched up 2 matches, but you won that back in March.
No, was it March? Was it the beginning of March?
I think it was the beginning of March.
I think it was it was right before COVID happened. Yeah, it was the beginning of March.
How was that match? Who did you beat? I'm not going to say because I think I know who it is, and I think I did my research right, but I want to hear it from you.
That match was actually, it was really cool. I, first of all, didn't know how that was going to go. I had no idea. It's really cool because my mom was there that night. And my mom's,
oh, nice.
She still thinks I'm crazy. She still doesn't like I told you, we have no wrestling background in our family. So she literally still to this day, does not understand why I'm doing this. Every time I talk to her, she's like, why?
Are you still doing that wrestling thing?
And she's a nurse too, so all she sees is me hurting myself or hurting other people, so she just doesn't get it. And I'm like, no, like tried to explain to her, but just, anyways. But it was cool because she was there that night, and I went up against Roche Chanel. Very, very fortunate to have had a couple matches with her now. Excuse me. She's absolutely amazing wrestler, an amazing worker, very, very sweet. I learned a ton from her, like a ton. And I didn't know that was going to happen. So when it happened, I was genuinely surprised and shocked and excited. And outside, I do currently have the AAPW Women's Championship, but like outside of that, that was my first, championship at another
promotion. Nice.
So it was a really cool experience.
Did the interaction on them deciding, I guess, that you were going to take it happen just right in the ring, or was it kind of, I know, it's like, how do I
kayfabe?
And you don't have to answer at all. I'm always one of those people that's like, what happens behind the curtain? Like, is everybody really cool with each other? Like,
right.
When people talk.
I don't know, honestly. I think it was before. I didn't know the whole time, at all. I had no idea. So I thought it was going to go differently, and then it didn't.
Happy ending to the whole situation.
I put her in my Koji clutch submission, and she tapped out. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Okay.
That's such a cool submission.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's no getting out of that, that's a lot of submissions have so many different ways to get out of it. Your submission is like, you're not going anywhere.
No,
you have them cinched in, and it's just beautiful.
I think I have had a couple people, roll me up on it if they get the right leverage, right? You can roll somebody up on it, but it's really, when you get that cinched in there, it's like, good luck, good luck crawling to the ropes. Good luck. Yeah.
And you got a little finesse there with your legs as you like scissor the legs and lock it in real good. I always watch. I'm like, a little finesse there, a little flair when you throw it on there.
Nope. Yeah, it's definitely. It's funny because Baby D actually taught me that submission. Like because I know it's CM Punk uses it and Sami Zayn, right? Which makes me even happier because CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like he does the Koji clutch. It's just she showed me how to do it, and I was like, this is my finish. This is how I'm gonna take everybody out. I'm calling it the cheat code, and this is it.
There you go.
So
love it. Now we get to Mission Pro. how does Mission Pro come up? How does that opportunity come up for you? And what's the initial reaction when you get that phone call or email or what, or just the hey, we want you?
So it's very fortunate to be on their first show. The one, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but the one they had at Pinballz Kingdom last year. And I was able to get that opportunity because Brian and Mel were running it at the time, and Brian had drove all the way down to AAPW to watch my first match. And so he enjoyed what the other girl and I did so much that he actually hired both of us to, work on that show. So I had started a relationship with them through that first show, and, that three-way could have gone a little better. It was okay. But since then, I've been very fortunate to work with Thunder on, their Mission Pro customs and that kind of stuff. I worked with her at SWE Fury not so long ago. And so when I saw that they had decided to go fully female, I was like, I have to be a part of this. Like, I really wanted to make sure that was something that I was going to be involved with, because there are a lot of other female promotions, but I think this is one of the first ones that's like completely female, from backstage to upstage, front stage to everything. I think it is. And that's just another step, in this women's revolution, right? It's just another step that needs to be taken to bring everything where it should be. Wrestlers are wrestlers.
Yep.
So I was like, I just have to be a part of this. And when Robin, the booker, reached out to me and booked me for the show, I was just like, like, yay, it finally happened. Because I was like, please book me. And I was about to send an email because I was like, I was going to send an email to her and give her all my information and stuff. And then she contacted me and I was just like, oh, thank you. And then I found out that I'm tagging with Jenna, and I love Jenna. And Jenna and I's moveset is really similar, so we work well together on that kind of stuff. So I'm super duper stoked. And I've actually tagged with her before at Ladies Night Out. So I'm super stoked because I think that we can bring that back and bring it back like 10 times cooler this time. So I'm super stoked.
We're excited for that. And I love tag team wrestling. I'd already mentioned in previous, tag team wrestling's awesome. So just the idea of a really good tag match is exciting for me. I look forward to the match. I think it's going to be maybe secretly the best match on the card that nobody's talking about right now because of all these other bigger names that are also showing up.
I was like, there are a lot of big names on this card.
But you got to watch out for these tag matches because a lot of different things can happen. So we're very excited for it.
I don't been watching some of, I don't know if you guys watch a lot of AEW, but I love the stuff that SCU's been doing, and I've just been taking notes. I'm like, this is good stuff. I love this. So I'm super stoked
always
with this
doing
match.
the homework.
Always.
Now I want to step back a little bit. You talked about some of the matches you were able to have, some of the custom matches, and I know through this COVID period, there's no fans. What's it like to be out there and having a match with someone and interacting with with the person in the ring and the referee and not having any interaction with the crowd?
So my first time doing that actually was with Ladies Night Out. We did some Ladies Night Out underground matches. It's different. Like, I almost want to say it's weird, but I don't at the same time, because the crowd really gives you that extra life, and they really kind of help you tell how the match is going. You know what I mean? Because you can feel I'm super green. I really don't know a ton, but when you're in a match, you can kind of feel how it's going. If people are entertained or not. You listen to the crowd, you listen to your opponent, and when you don't have the crowd, it's kind of like, is this cool?
Is it working? Are we doing a good job?
Are you guys entertained? On YouTube, is this entertaining to you? So it's difficult in that sense. It is a little cool because it's a little more intimate, and the fact that it does kind of allow you to focus a little more on the match and your opponent, and really listening to the ref and what you're but it's I don't know. I miss crowds. We worked it.
We miss seeing wrestling live too.
I do, yeah. I really miss going to shows. I really miss going to shows, because even if I wasn't booked on a show, if Adam was booked on shows that I wasn't booked at, I'd go with him, help set up the ring, and I'd sit there and watch and just absorb and help out as much as I could, because there's nothing like wrestling shows. There is nothing like indie wrestling shows. There's nothing like wrestlers or wrestling locker room. there's just nothing like it. And there's nothing that can fill that void right now.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. I miss it so much. Like, I don't know. We went to Kickstart and we had matches up in Minnesota, and it was outside. People had to wear masks and they had to be social distance, right? But there was something like, it was a good refresher in the sense of like, oh my God, we're wrestling in front of people and they're reacting to what we're doing. And it was so great. It was like for the first time in a long time, I was in the moment. You know what I mean? During that match, I was in the moment. I could feel everything that was going on. It was just like, missed this. I missed it so much.
It's that drug again. It's that drug again, right?
You're getting it back from what you're getting back, what you're giving out. Finally.
Right, exactly.
Off of it.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. You feed off the energy of the crowd. Yeah. 100%.
Now, you mentioned the match that you have at Hell Hath No Fury. Do you have anything to say to Promise and Killa Kate?
So I've been in the ring with both Promise and Killa Kate. Faced both of them. And they're both scary in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, they know their stuff. I know Kate has her collegiate background. And Promise is a super hard hitter. They're both really good with their submissions. They're both very strategic, and but we got power on our side. I don't know how to explain it. Like, Jenna and I are two of the same. Like, we will double kick you in the face before you even turn around to say anything. You know, like I am not scared. I'm not nervous. I'm not scared. I've already faced both of them. I know how to take them out. And I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to drop kick them in the face. Like, I've got my insies are loaded. I just want to do this. Like, I'm super stoked. I won't lie to you. I am very excited for this match. I'm like, put me in a submission, girl. Just try it, because I will wiggle out and then kick you in the head. Like,
my thing is, you guys have the teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Promise and Kate have had some beef in the past, so I'm gonna give the two of you guys a little bit of an edge in this match, just because you guys have teamed before. You faced Promise in another tag team match before.
Yep.
So you know a little bit about it. I'm giving the edge to you guys.
Yeah, and it was Jenna and I in that match versus Promise. That's right. Both of us have already taken her on, so it's like, we kind of know your tactics, girl. We kind of know already what you're gonna do. And we both have the martial arts background, which in martial arts, you learn about balance, you learn how to work together, you learn, how to take your time with something, and really about that discipline. And it's that discipline that we both have that I think is going to get us over in this match, and really, we gonna win. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's over.
I agree. Now, you mentioned before you learned a lot of stuff from Ray Chanel. Has there been anybody else that you learned a lot from, whether it was from training, whether it was from being in the ring with them? Who might those other people be?
Oh my God, a ton of people. Like, I'm very fortunate that there's a lot of amazing talent here in Austin. First of all, it is Ray Chanel. Ray.
Always screw it up.
Ray. You're fine. I just want to make sure.
Now, don't come and beat me up. I didn't mean to say it wrong.
I won't. I'm just worried about Ray for you.
I know I am.
Baby D a lot. We're very fortunate, being in Austin. Once again, there's a lot of talent here. So Christy Janes pops in and out. I've learned a lot from her. Ricky Starts, I've learned a lot from him. We've had ACA Junior School a couple times. I've learned a lot from him too. My trainers in general, Steve Orino, Ray Campos, and then of course my boyfriend, and who I also consider my trainer, Prince Adam. And I've probably learned the most from him because he's constantly supporting me, feeding me knowledge, constantly trying to help me get better, especially on like my fundamentals and stuff. He's very big about preaching footwork and fundamentals and really making sure that I'm moving correctly in that ring, and executing everything in the proper way. So he's really helped me a ton with that. And also, literally, we'll just be hanging out and he'll pull up some New Japan or some WWE, and we'll just sit and we'll just watch tape together, and he'll call stuff out for me, and he'll show me stuff, he'll rewind stuff, and, study tape basically. And I'm very, very fortunate that I'm surrounded by such talented, incredible people, and it's something that I will never take for granted. Like, I'm just very grateful for it.
That's awesome. I saw one of your videos, I think it was from YouTube or somewhere, where you were doing some you were doing some training, but you were on your it looked like a Nintendo Switch the whole time, just jumping around the ring, doing stuff. He's trying to do things to you, and you're doing sit-ups, and I'm just like, man, this is hilarious. I love this.
Yeah. Yep. That was the first Mission Pro promo. Yep. Yep. No, that's I mean, look, I can't lie. As a gamer, like, I have an advantage. Like, we got good hand-eye coordination, yo. Like, we got quick reflexes. We are not afraid to turn that gamer rage up to 11 just to beat somebody up. So it's.
I love it, gamer rage.
True. It's true though. Oh my God, you should see me playing Doom. It's bad. I almost threw my controller the other day.
I have seen you play Doom.
Horribly.
Now my gamer rage is totally different because I just take the remote control and I smash it against the floor when I get mad.
I just do this. I'm like, I like freeze and get real angry because I want to curse it out. I just want to sit there and yell every curse word I can at it. In fact, there's certain games I can't stream because I will say like the C word and like other words because I get so mad. And it's literally the only time I never use that word. And that is the only time is when I play any kind of MOBA. Like I get like Heroes of the Storm or League of Legends, I become a different person. So I am not allowed to stream those.
Off limits.
Off limits, completely.
Now, this is a new question that we've been asking, and I think it's going to be interesting here because 10-year-old VertVixen probably wasn't really thinking about having a wrestling career. So if you had an opportunity to talk to 10-year-old VertVixen, what would you tell her?
I would sit 10-year-old VertVixen down and I'd pull up WWE and be like, let me tell you something, kid. Let me tell you something. You're going to change your career like 3 or 4 times. So before you go through all of that, go sign up for a gymnastics class, go take a dance class, and watch some WWE and watch these women. Here's some really old stuff, you know, here's Alundra Blaze and like before that, because you need to realize and know that this is actually your future. You think you're gonna, because when 10-year-old me wanted to be an action star. Like, I would have been like, look, this is that. Like, you can do it.
Same
wrestling.
thing.
Yeah.
Do this. So, yeah.
It's interesting, yeah, because it's what we know now, you know, could have put us on the path maybe a little bit faster, but everybody has their own journey, right? Everybody has their own path.
I went to college. Like, I have a degree in game art and design. Yeah. Hey, degrees. Yay, worthless. I have a degree. Paper. I don't even have my paper because of student loans that I hadn't paid off. They didn't even give it to me. So I don't have any proof. Like, it's fine. Everybody else does. It's okay. It's just like, I was in the game industry for like 4 years. I did professional cosplay for like 2 to 3 years. And now I'm back in the game industry as a community manager. And I'm just like, changed my career literally 3 times. And I'm just like, why couldn't I have found wrestling when I was a kid or when I was younger? I would have started training at 18, like hands down. And God knows where I would have been at this point. Like, maybe I'd be signed by now. Like, who knows?
There's still time.
There's always time. Yes. That's why I take really good care of myself, because I'm like, I can still do this.
Yep.
I'm not too old yet. I can still do this.
You mentioned, you started mentioning some of these other things outside of wrestling that you're interested in. You definitely have some hobbies outside of the wrestling ring.
That's
so
pretty
we
cool
got
stuff.
Pretty cool stuff. So you talked about the cosplay. Let's get into that and all the amazing stuff you've done cosplay wise. So how did you get into that originally?
Kind of like the same way I got into wrestling. It was one of those things where like
a bad breakup?
No.
Oh.
Amazing. No, actually.
You had to think about it for a second.
I did. I actually did. I was like, where was I at that point in my life? I was working as a video game artist, thinking that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, until I realized that entails you sitting in front of a freaking computer for 8 to 12 hours a day, basically. Well, yeah, like this, like drawing. And I mean, I was sculpting and modeling and painting and stuff, but it's still, I already gained like 15 pounds out of college. Like, I was just not like in a good physical and mental place. And I was getting bored, especially too, as a creative person, when somebody's constantly telling you what to make, it's no longer fun. Like, it's no longer fun. So I was no longer having fun with what I was doing at work. And so I would come home and I started to realize and learn what cosplay was. And I had dabbled in a little bit of it. Like when I was in college, I actually had a friend help me make a costume for BlizzCon. I wore that costume at BlizzCon and I loved it. Had so much fun walking around in costume. People were taking pictures of me and I'm like, attention? People are paying attention to me? Like, what is this? I felt like a movie star and it was awesome. And so from there, I made the first costume I made by myself was Codex from the Guild. I don't know if you guys all know what the Guild is. If you don't, you should check it out. You should check out the Guild. It's amazing. It's Felicia Day. It's this online web series. It's old as hell now, but it's hilarious. You should watch it. And so I made Codex from the Guild. And then from there, I just got addicted. And I would come home from work and I would do research. And I'd be like, I'm going to make this costume. And I'd find out how to do it online. I bought myself a crappy sewing machine, got myself a hot glue gun and some EVA foam, and just started making stuff. And it just kept going and going and going until I found that I was up till 3 a.m. every night working on costumes. And I was like, showing up to work late, you know, like, because I was up all night making costumes and realizing that game art was no longer my passion and that I was really enjoying the cosplay thing because it had me up and moving, you know, and making stuff with my hands and getting to wear these cool things and going to conventions. And then I got hired to do it professionally. And so I left the game industry. I left the game art to work on costumes professionally and stream. And I did that for like 2 years. Year and a half? I don't know. My timelines are all messed up. I don't know anymore. I'm old. It's been a minute.
I'm the oldest one here. I know that I just know.
You just know.
I just know.
He knows. So you talked about streaming. How did streaming really come up? Did it just kind of mesh with the cosplay and then all the creations that you were doing?
So I had thought about streaming stuff, and then Twitch came out, like 2016, 2015, with their Twitch costume contest. They were having TwitchCon, and they were like, we are going to hold this giant Twitch cosplay contest, and the winner gets $5,000. And I was like, what? Like, that's a lot of money. Yeah, exactly. And I had already made, you guys, there's a company called Sideshow Collectibles. They make really amazing high quality figures. So they hired me to make one of their characters from their Court of the Dead series, Shard. And that was the first like professional cosplay I had made. And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, can I enter this in the Twitch cosplay contest? And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead, do it. So I got approval from the company. I had made the costume all myself. Like, yes, they had helped fund some stuff, but there was nothing in the rules that said that it, you know, I wasn't breaking any rules. The only rule there was that I had to stream the costume. I had to stream like 40 hours or something of working on the costume. Like there was a certain number of hours you had to stream working on it. It might have not been that many. I spent like 500 hours on that costume. I didn't like, that took up my life completely. But it was one of the most high quality costumes I had made. So I knew I had to, like, I had leather work in there and like hand painting and hand sculpting. Like there was a lot of stuff. Like I made a corset for the first time, a lot of stuff. Like I made that thing from scratch, you know, completely from scratch. So Alexa's talking to me and that's creepy. I'm sorry. Woo, that creeped me out. I was like, there's a girl behind me. Okay.
You just ordered 10,000 eggs from Amazon.
Off of Amazon. I'll let you guys know how that goes in the next 2 hours when Amazon delivers it to me. Ugh. But anyway, so I started streaming because I had to stream for the contest. And I started building up a little community. And it was fun. I got addicted to streaming. And so from there, I just started focusing more on my channel. And then I streamed mostly cosplay stuff at first. Like my streaming was like 90% cosplay and like 10% games. Now it's 100% games because I'm burnt out on cosplay at the moment. I'm still trying to reignite that fuel. But that's how I got into it, was because of the Twitch cosplay contest, which I got second overall. So I won like 3,500.
Congratulations.
So woo, that's one of the cool, that's
Not
one of
too
those
shabby.
Statues that I have that's like a glass statue that is that, like, I don't have it on display right now, but that's one that I would put up on display because I am damn proud of that costume. In fact, I told Adam, I was like, when we get a house, I want it, this is a piece of art, it's going up somewhere because the costume is, I hate to toot my own horn, but it's a work of art. Like, it's beautiful. Like,
Well, you put a lot of time, effort, and
So
and
much.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
sweat, tears.
Literally,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
literally blood, sweat, and tears in that costume somewhere. Literally.
That's why it's awesome.
Yeah, thank
Exactly.
you.
There's a
Well,
lot of different. There's a lot of different events going on for cosplay. Is there one that you got to go to as a cosplayer that was your favorite event to go to? I know there's Dragon Con and some of the other cons out there. Was there one that you enjoyed going to the most?
I think because I'm old and grouchy now, I can't I think I would have to say BlizzCon just because there's nothing like BlizzCon, and I was a really really huge Blizzard fan, extremely obsessed with Blizzard, all their stuff. So BlizzCon was my favorite, and their costume contest was such a big deal every year too. Like cosplay with BlizzCon is a huge deal. I never got to go to Dragon Con because I could never afford it. It was too expensive to fly from California to Atlanta, and then also get a hotel. And I heard some stories about Dragon Con though. There's some stories. Yeah.
I'm close to that area.
Okay.
I know I have friends who who have gone every year. I've heard those stories.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah,
I
all
have
5
no
of us
clue.
woke up in a hotel room and we don't know what happened. And I'm like, what? Like crazy stuff happens at Dragon Con. So I've never been to Dragon Con. I did get to go to Gamescom, which is really cool. It's held in Germany. It's like the biggest
wow.
European gaming
That's
convention.
awesome.
But it was a nightmare because I was working and I had to go from our booth at THQ to the backstage newsrooms where there's always developer and publisher rooms where the media can go meet with the developer and publisher, which is separate from the gaming convention floor where you go and you can actually there's the fan area and then there's the media area, and the media area is always much nicer and less crowded, and there's alcohol and food, and then there's the fan area, which is full of a ton of people. And I had to travel from the fan area to the media area, and Gamescom is so huge, it would take me 20 minutes to walk from one side to the other.
Oh wow.
Just because of how many people we were like this, we were like sardines. And it was the coolest experience, but my least favorite convention because I was it was too much. There were too many people. It was too many people all at once. And people were trying to walk around in costume. And I was helping our booth at the time. We had 6 people that were working for us in cosplay that I would have to wrangle from our changing area, which was it was a Tupperware container in the back that people were changing in that was hot and had no air conditioning. And these costumes were for Darksiders, and these poor people were covered from head to toe in armor and leather, and I had to walk them from there to the gaming floor. And I remember I was such a bitch. I was like, everybody move out of the way. I was that person. And that was my least favorite. There you go. You got 2 answers there. My most favorite and my least favorite.
Well, Chris already jumped the gun on the favorites thing, but
Sorry.
whatever. I still like them. So we'll go into some other favorites of yours. What is some of your favorite music to listen to?
Yo, I'm all over the place. I listen to everything. But I'm gonna go with butt rock.
Wait, what?
Butt rock.
What the hell is that?
You've never heard that term before?
No.
Butt rock is Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and but I also love metal, and I'm really all over the place.
I've just never heard the reference.
Butt rock.
It's nothing but the joke is nothing but rock.
Okay. Okay. I get
But
it.
it's considered butt rock. I didn't know the terminology either until
Man.
I'm gonna write that down.
yeah, butt rock. We were filming for GameStop, and everybody started joking because Melanie's favorite, she loves butt rock too, and they're like, yeah, she's like, yeah, I love butt rock. And I was like, what is butt rock? I didn't know either. She started explaining to me. I was like, oh, those are all the bands I listen to. I guess I'm in that category. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got The Weeknd on my phone, and Rammstein, and Childish Gambino, and Slipknot, and 3 Days Grace. I'm literally all over the place. Lil Nash, Lil Nas, it's all over the place.
I
just
am the
music.
same way.
As long as it's good music, then I'll listen to it.
Yeah, I agree. Video games. What has been your favorite console to play?
The N64.
Man, everybody says N64.
Yeah,
I kid you not.
I think it's because it's like, I don't know. There was something about it. Like it was like the right time. Like Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was my first game that I beat from start to finish. And I not only beat from start to finish, but then went back and got all the milk jars and went back and got all the gold, Skulltulas. Like I got everything in that game. Like my parents would have to literally physically pull me away from it because I was so addicted to playing it. So that was the game that got me into gaming. And then Majora's Mask and, there was nothing like going to your friend's house and like, let's play Mario Party. And y'all got on the freaking N64, played Mario Party, and then, with the hand, try to get through it as fast as you can. Mario Kart, Yoshi's Island. There was just so many amazing titles on the N64. And it was just such like the perfect golden time, I guess, for me as a kid. It was just right where it needed to be. So
I think I had Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah. Hell yeah. See?
I loved Pokemon.
Aww.
Mine's over there.
I don't have mine anymore. I don't know where my N64 is. It's
might just
sad.
rock some Donkey Kong Country here in a little bit.
Hell yeah. See? Exactly.
What's been your favorite video game then? I know that's a hard one.
That's really hard because it's like, for what reason? I have to say this just because I've played it a million times and it's probably one of the most influential games on me in general. It's Darksiders. And I work for Gunfire Games right now as their community manager. And the reason why I got hired, I mean, aside from my other skills for doing social media stuff, was because I literally know Darksiders backwards and forwards. Like I'm a lore nut with that game. I love it so much. I've got it. Can't really see it. And then it tattooed the horseman symbol on my arm. And it's actually on my gear too. It's on my new knee pads. Look at the horseman symbol on my pad. So, but there's just something about, I don't know. It's just a stupid hack and slash with like a cool story about like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. But the art style was right for me. Like, I just love it so much. I don't know. And Darksiders 2 was amazing, and Darksiders 3 was good, and it's also good, but it's like, then underneath that, I've got, obviously, of course, every Zelda game, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, like, no question. I love the God of War games. Oh my God, the new God of War was freaking amazing. I love Doom, like, the new 2016 Doom, and then Doom Eternal, those games are fun as heck. Diablo, like, Diablo's my jam.
Those are all the games I'm terrible at. I am terrible.
They're all different types of games.
I'm terrible at all of them.
I know. How are you? This World of Warcraft, I played that for like 6 years of my life. Oh, come on. Here's the Storm. Like,
I am good at the older video, like I'm talking about like Super Nintendo.
Oh, like old
school video stuff. Or now, basically, I mean, they're coming out with songs here and there, but I still play Rock Band a lot. I love that game so much. It is like the reason I got an Xbox in the first place, just because I wanted to play that game.
I love it. What do you play on Rock Band? What instrument do you play?
I can do all of them.
Oh, you sing too?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I can sing a little bit too.
Yo, it's so fun.
We've actually played rock. We played the marathon, the achievement.
It was the original Rock Band. They had the endless set list where you played all 55 songs in a row from start to finish. And like, in order to get it, you couldn't fail a song ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
How long did that take you?
Ooh,
all day.
Man, we were in my basement for like 4 or 5 hours. At least.
And you have to play every instrument. So one of us was on. So we were like flipping around when we knew.
Yeah, you have to. You can't.
I can't do this song. You do that song.
Yeah.
I think I sang and played drums on Strutter at the same time.
No way. That's talent. That's talent right there. That's talent.
It was a fun time. I miss those times.
That's amazing.
Anyway, enough about our stupid idiot selves. Back to you. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Why is that a question? Star Wars.
Thank you. I knew the answer to that question anyway. I just wanted to get that into the atmosphere. I know.
My grandmother, my step grandmother, she really liked Star Trek, and I never understood it. Like, she liked it so much that she collected the stupid like collectible plates they had for it. Like, she had everything she could from it, and she tried to make me watch it. And I'm like, this is dumb. I don't understand. No offense to any Star Trek fans. Yeah, no, I'm like, no offense.
No.
Sorry.
I
Star
agree.
Wars.
That is the right answer. Everybody out there. Who has been your favorite opponent in the ring thus far in your short career?
Adam. Prince Adam. And not just because he's my boyfriend, but because like he doesn't go easy on me. Like it was competitive. It pushed me. Like it really, that match pushed me in such a good way that like, I don't know. Like that's no question in my mind about it. Like that was like, I've never been so nervous and excited and pushed and felt so much in one match in my entire life. So yeah, that one.
Okay. Last one of the favorites. The dream match. Who is that with?
Are there rules on this? What are the rules on this?
There are no rules. We are rule breakers here with the Monkeys. So it could be any promotion, and I'll even say any point in time in the history.
Oh, you can't do the time thing! Damn it.
Too many choices.
I know.
It went from like 2 to like 6 or 7 or 8. I don't know. Too many.
Okay, let's say a post in the last 20 years.
That helps.
Like 7 or 8.
Last 20 years?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Whoever, anybody out now who is currently wrestling now.
Well, there goes a lot of my choices. Wait, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm gonna go with Asuka. Asuka's the GOAT. Like she look, Taker was on my list. Becky was on my list. Edge is on my list. But I mean, current woman wrestler, Asuka, and maybe Io and Sasha Banks and maybe Bailey. Kylie. I love Kylie too.
You got all 7 or 8 in there.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
There's no worries.
You're okay.
And then can I say Sheeta too, just because I'd like a chance eventually? So anyways.
Lay it all out right now.
Yeah.
Just get it all out
Lay
there.
all the challenges out to everybody.
I'll lay them all out. Oh man, if I had more experience, I would be sending my stuff to AEW and I'd be like, give me a chance at that freaking title. Like, let's do this. Sheeta calling people out. I'm calling you out. Like, I totally do it. But I'm like, no, not yet. I'm going to marinate a little longer.
Well, we're here at the last question. Chris already made fun of me today because just so everybody out there who's listening or watching knows, we always send our guests questions beforehand. Mm-hmm. They are numbered 1 to whatever. I apparently can't count to 10, and it went 1 to 7, totally skipped the number 8 and went to 9 and 10. So, yep, I'm an idiot. We all know it. It's okay.
Oh, be nicer to yourself. It's okay.
But we're here. We're at the last question. We ask all of our guests this. It's a fun question. We like how we end it. Oreo cookies. Are you a single stuff fan or a double stuff fan?
Well, I'm the person that opens the Oreo, eats the cream, and then eats the 2 cookies individually. So double stuff so I can get all of the cream.
Again, that is the correct answer.
Yes. There's nothing, I can't, I'm like, I don't want to eat like a sandwich. You got to unscrew it and then eat the cream. And like, there is a method to an Oreo.
Yep, there is.
There's no wrong way to eat an Oreo unless you're eating a single stuff Oreo.
Yeah, there you go.
You're just wrong.
There you go. That works.
100%. 100%.
Well, Vert,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We're here at your time. Let everybody know where they can go find you. I know you have the Twitch stream. I know you have Twitter and all the handles out there. Where can they go look for you? We're going to put it all at the end so people don't have to figure out how to write it out, but we'll have it written out. But where can they go find you?
So I am on Twitter at VertVixen. I'm on Instagram also at VertVixen. I'm on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Alicia Cosplay. which I should probably change maybe now. And then I stream on Twitch, and I try to stream on Twitch at least 3 days a week, if not more. And my current Twitch is twitch.tv/VertVixen. So luckily, all you got to do is look up VertVixen and everything pops up. Got lucky and I stole everything. It was like steal.
You got it all. It's easy, one place to find everybody. And then also we got Hell Hath No Fury coming up. Chuck, where's that coming up? When's that coming up?
Hell Hath No Fury is going to be on Friday, September 18th. The show is at Pinballz Kingdom in Buda, Texas. If you're going to the show, the bell time is 7:30. If you can't make it, you can catch the stream on Title Match Network. You can get just buy the stream, or you can get a month subscription. That's up to you. But if you are going to the event, make sure that you wear your mask because it is a social distancing show.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that we're going to be there. We're going to all be watching. We can't wait to see you, Vert. We can't wait to see your match. Love tag team wrestling. I'm a little biased, but you know what? I don't care. Love tag team wrestling. So really appreciate it. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for joining us. Go hit that like and subscribe. And we'll have another one around the corner here because we're not done with Mission Pro Wrestling, and we're not done until we get to Hell Hath No Fury.
Hi, guys.
You can catch VertVixen on Twitter and Instagram at VertVixen, on Facebook at Alicia Cosplay, and don't forget on her Twitch stream, twitch.tv/VertVixen. And of course, Hell Hath No Fury, presented by Mission Pro Wrestling and Pinballz Kingdom, Friday, September 18th in Buda, Texas. If you're going to the show, bell time is 7:30. You can find the show streaming online at Title Match Wrestling Network. And for more information on Mission Pro, go to missionprowrestling.net. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. You can also check out our interviews on WrestleJoy.com. Make sure to subscribe on our YouTube page to watch our previous interviews or our roundtable discussions. Just search for The Bald Monkeys. Watch us live on our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TheBaldMonkeys. And finally, listen to The Bald Monkeys podcast on Apple iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.